Good morning and welcome to Leon County Today with Sheriff Walt McNeil. I'm Sean DeKnight. Sheriff, our topic today, we had Director Royle King on from the Council of Status of Men and Boys recently. He's back today, and really we can't talk about this topic enough.
Absolutely, Shonda. This topic is one that we have to continue to echo in our community. We need a lot of help in terms of the initiative we've got going are going good. We're doing some great stuff out there, but we continue, it seems like, week after week after week, we hear of a shooting taking place in our community. And usually, again, those people being shot or being shot at are persons that we identified in the Nashville homicide report. It told us exactly what would happen in our community. And we've got to make sure we get the resources in those spaces where we can have those interdictions with both adults who we're trying to get off our streets and arrested and into prison, and the young people who we know find themselves in desperate situations that we can assist with and help. And that's what we're looking for right now, is trying to get our community engaged with our Council on Status of Men and Boys. We think we're making some headway, but we need some help out there.
Yeah, Director King today is going to be talking about some new initiatives that they are implementing. And, you know, I know one of the things that's important for you as we move along with the council is that we are implementing proven strategies that are working in other places, but it takes funding to be able to do that.
Absolutely. You know, we brought along Florida State University with us when we started this to validate the research that we were doing. So the things we're doing are validated and they are best practices, but again, it takes resources, and most of the resources we're talking about now are grant funds. We'd like to get in a community where we can get our community engaged and seeing what we're doing and have those interventions that are ongoing, so that we can continually get this momentum going where it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop because we don't have the funding. And that's a major piece that we're working on. I'm looking forward to hearing Royle talk about some of the things we're doing to offset some of those issues and problems that we have.
Absolutely. We're going to be talking about some incentives out there for individuals who need the help. So we're going to dig into this topic. You want to make sure you stick around. Coming up, we're going to be talking about no ride, no problem. The Council on the Status of Men and Boys is going the extra mile to help. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Deputy Sean Shepard with the Leon County Detention Facility. This is your Crime Tip Tuesday.
Scammers are impersonating Sheriff Walt McNeil and are calling people, demanding payment over the phone. This is not Sheriff McNeil or anyone from the Leon County Sheriff's Office. Do not become a victim of a scam call. Here are some tips to help you recognize and stop a scam. Law enforcement will not call you requiring payment for fines and fees. If they ask you to pay fees to avoid a warrant for your arrest, immediately hang up the phone. If the caller is aggressive and put an unrealistic time limit on you to pay via gift card, green dot card, or any other form of payment, hang up.
And that's your Crime Tip. Have a great day.
At the Florida Sheriff's Association, we are able to serve our sheriffs and Floridians thanks to our member support. The FSA Member Perks program was created to give back to our members for all that they do. Members enjoy savings on restaurants, vacations, golf courses, car rentals, healthcare, movie tickets, theme parks, online shopping, and more. With over 300,000 offers, you'll always find ways to save. To learn more or to join the Florida Sheriff's Association, visit fsamemberperks.org.
In 70-degree weather, it takes only minutes for the inside of your car to heat up like an oven. At 104 degrees, heat stroke begins, followed by loss of consciousness. Every year, almost 40 children die of heat stroke after being forgotten in a vehicle. A simple change in daily routine is often the cause. Look before you lock. Brought to you by Kids in Cars.
Welcome back. The Council on the Status of Men and Boys is launching a new initiative to help stop gun violence in our community. Joining me now is Executive Director of the Council on the Status of Men and Boys. Royle, talk to us about what you're doing and what's the next steps.
Man, Sheriff, so we're doing a lot.
I believe it.
So that's a good thing. But right now, one of our main focuses is trying to provide resources and connections to those families and youth who are at the greatest risk, and adults. So we've gotten some additional funding to leverage the grant that we were able to get almost 3 years ago. So amazing that much time is gone to have greater impact. So even tonight, we're hosting a listening session Tuesday night in the Griffin Heights neighborhood to hear from some of those residents about how we can be more effective. We're involved with the Children's Services Council and those providers providing free summer camps. So connecting those families who don't always get the notice, like they're not on social media to those services. And then planning some community-wide trainings and engagement events that are happening right now, youth development workshops, and educating those in our community about the risk of gun violence and what can we do as everyday citizens to help reduce some of that violence.
Okay. Now, for viewers out there that might not know exactly what the Council on Status of Men and Boys is all about, how are you structured and what do you try to achieve?
Well, so we are members of the community, but greater than that, of the Sheriff's Office, and our team is in place to look at solutions to bring some reductions and implement strategies to reduce gun violence in our community. But underline that part, the underlining part of that is those things that lead to the violence. So poverty, employment, education. And so how do we start to address some of those barriers within our community while doing those things that will help reduce the violence? But we can't just go out there and do a campaign to get guns to come back by themselves, because we've got to replace that activity with something else. And so it's all those underlying factors in a life that someone gets connected to gun violence.
Yeah, Sean and I were talking about the grant that you all now have. Talk about that grant and exactly what do we want to do with it? When we get it, what are we doing with it?
So we were awarded some funds from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FDLE, to enhance what we're already doing with our violence reduction strategic plan. So one of the most important things with this grant is transportation. So one of the barriers when we're working with families and people all of the time, reliable transportation, or I can get there but I can't get home. Well, we've partnered with Uber to be able to eliminate that barrier. So that is a huge one. So now we'll be able to provide those services, transportation services, to the events that we're doing and different referrals that we've made to support those individuals and the needs that that family may have. In addition to that, we've leveraged the same funding to do a community training. So we are, we monitor the hot spots, but we're looking at neighborhoods right now that we're seeing a lot of the upticks to determine which ones we want to focus on. And we're going to bring a violence intervention training to that neighborhood to say, hey, residents of this area, how can we get you involved? Not asking you to pretend to be law enforcement, but how do we address some of those disparities and build up the capacity for you to be able to inform us about what's happening before it happens and start to address some of those underlying issues. So we're planning some trainings for June. And then also we're doing development workshops. So we brought in some strong members of our community to lead sessions. We did one this morning in the Juvenile Detention Center. And that one was centered around hope, but here are some skills for when you come out of here to hopefully make different choices. So we're doing those training sessions as well. And there's opportunities if there's organizations or youth in this community and adults who want to take advantage of one of those, we'd be happy to schedule that.
Now you're talking about, is that the juvenile development training course that you're talking about?
The Juvenile Detention Center was where we did the training, but the courses, we've gotten 3 of our community partners. One of them is trusting relationships with law enforcement. One of them is critical skills, and so helping individuals understand how they identify those within themselves. And then the other is making good choices in conflict resolution. So we're doing them, and the grant is allowing us to do them in a large capacity.
Well, Royle, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much we appreciate the work that you're doing. We've got a lot more to do, but we know we're moving in the right direction. Coming up, details on those free rides being offered through the council. Stay tuned.
19-second conversation with a stranger online can put your child in danger of being exploited or abused.
Talking to kids about online safety can protect us for a lifetime. Don't wait. Talk to us today.
I'm a firefighter.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer.
I'm a barber.
A waitress.
A mom.
We're all part of your community.
Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good,
others not so much.
But that's life. It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty.
Something or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not.
It's not about paranoia
or being afraid.
It's about standing up and protecting our communities.
One detail at a time.
Because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Another teenager, victim to fake pills. That smells like big crime that needs to be stopped. Before buying pills online, think about this. Should buying prescription pills be this easy?
Yeah, bro, I'm picking up. Same guy. I bet. Got you 5.
Think these pills are tested and safe? Think they're the same ones you get from a doctor? You know they're not. Did you know that fake prescription pills may contain fentanyl? And an amount small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil can be lethal. Listen, before buying pills from social media, think again. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org and go for real.
Welcome back. We're back with Royle King, Executive Director of the Council on the Status of Men and Boys. Royle, we're talking about gun violence in our community. Tell me exactly what are we doing to reduce the amount of gun violence that we're seeing in our community, and what kind of training you're doing to assist in that effort?
Yeah, so one of the most important things is identifying those at greatest risk of being victims or offenders of violence and outreach, reaching out to them to say, hey, how can we support and help you? But also that family of individuals who are already in the detention center for respective reasons around gun violence, and trying to connect those families to break that uptick of the unfortunate trajectory just because of the connection and that missing piece in that family as well. And so those trainings are a critical piece because we hear all of the time, especially when we first got this grant, that there's all these people doing this and that, and what we kind of quickly realized was that we got a strong prevention community, but not a really strong intervention one. Yeah. And so there's also a lot of our residents who want to do more. They want to get more involved, or they want to enter that intervention space. And so these trainings are going to be what I like to consider our gateway to helping create some more capacity for our community and individuals who want to learn some of these skills to be able to be partners in this work in a greater capacity, but just don't know how. So those trainings we're going to be doing this summer are going to be critical to those individuals, but also those everyday citizens who live in these spaces, who been on those blocks their entire lives, and their children, their grandchildren are all living in spaces and sometimes get caught into the cycles of violence that exist. And so we want to break some of those by educating some of them and empowering them at the same time through those trainings.
So how does transportation play a role in this in terms of our ability to fight crime?
So one of the biggest issues we see is that people want help. They're seeking help. They want to do something different, and there are a myriad of, I would say, barriers. And transportation in that list is normally the highest one. Okay. So they want to get connection to those supports, and just sometimes can't get there in the order of priorities. Like mom has to drive the car. So by being able to provide this transportation to them at no cost, it will allow them to eliminate that barrier and say, we can get you there and get you home. Okay, well, I can do it, I'll go. So we're hoping that in being able to connect these high-risk individuals to supports, that will help them to see that their life matters and that they're important, and maybe make a different choice.
Yeah, you know, I often get asked, counseling status men and boys is just about boys, but talk about the other service. We brought service not only to the boys, but to the families.
Absolutely. So the resource fairs that we've done in connecting families and individuals to supports, that we don't exclude anybody on those. And so we understand that a lot of the gun violence right now is being done by minority males, African American males. However, their families need supports, but then our community as a whole needs supports. And so in some of these areas where we're seeing a lot of the violence, there's not just young men and boys that are connected to it. It's others that are involved. It's just we know that most of the time the trigger is pulled by the boys. But we're here to support everybody, and so those fairs, this event that we just talked about, is for the community, because we can't help one without helping the other, and we can't get to the end goal that we desire just focusing on one space. So our daily, tasks are around the boys, but we're supporting the families at the same time.
We appreciate that. Now, one of the other things that I'm always looking at is the summer. Summer comes along. How we engage with the youth of our community when summer comes?
So one of the cool things that we're working on now is that the Florida Sheriff's Association does these youth camps. And so we're bringing one here for Tallahassee. Okay. We're prioritizing some of those high-risk individuals, boys and girls, that we've encountered in our community to take part in this. And so it's a week camp that we can have up to 60 youth attend. And so our goal right now is to at least do 2, but we may have the opportunity to do some more. And so that is one of the ways we've partnered and working closely with, as I mentioned, the Children's Services Council, and they've provided funds for free summer services for youth. And so some of those high-risk families, we're connecting them because sometimes they don't know about those resources. They're not monitoring social media. And so we're connecting those families that have the greatest need to these supports with hopefully being able to bring some relief, but also building relationships at the same time to detour some of that negative behavior that one or two in that home may be.
Well, Royle, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much we appreciate the great job you're doing. Keep it up. Up next in our Deputy on Duty, you might call them the brains behind the operations. Learn more about our crime analysis unit. Stay tuned.
An email from the post office. How do they even know my email address?
They don't. This is a bogus email sent by scammers that looks like it is coming from the Postal Service, or even the Postmaster General himself. The email contains fraudulent information about an attempted or intercepted package delivery, and provides a link to click on to find out when delivery is expected. But that click can activate a virus, which can steal personal information such as usernames, passwords, or financial account numbers stored on the computer or mobile devices. Here are some telltale signs that an email is bogus. It contains poor grammar or spelling errors. It states that immediate action must be taken or there'll be dire consequences. It requests personal information under the guise of reconfirming information. The Postal Service does not notify customers about package delivery attempts by email. If you receive such a message, don't open it. Instead, forward it to spam@uspis.gov and then delete the email.
In times of stress such as quarantine, what goes on behind closed doors can be terrifying. But you don't have to suffer in silence. Help is here. Love is not controlling. Love is not frightening. And love is not violent. Love is respect. If you need assistance or just want to talk, we are here. In Florida, call the Domestic Abuse Hotline at 800-500-1119 to speak to someone in your area. Or for more information, email the Domestic Violence Coordinating Council at dvcctally@gmail.com.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind. Take this time to talk and get it right. You know I'll be there all your life. When you need me, I'll be by your side.
Little everyday conversations about the dangers of underage drinking can make a big difference in a child's life. Talk, they hear you.
On this segment of Deputy on Duty, we introduce to you members of the Criminal Intelligence Bureau, CIB.
My name is Leslie Rabin. I'm the Executive Director over Intelligence Operations and Analysis.
My name is Tommy Smith. I am the Supervising Crime Analyst with the Leon County Sheriff's Office.
In 2023, LCSO proudly announced the grand opening of the new Capital Region Real-Time Crime Center. This facility marked a significant step forward, fostering collaboration between LCSO and other local law enforcement agencies.
We are worried in real time about what is going on right now. Once that call for service is done, we stop with that call. But that's where your traditional crime analysis and intelligence analysts and even your fusion analysts will pick up and run with it. So for an example, if we have a trend that we're seeing within a couple of days here, we will feed that up to either our crime analysts to look to see if this is a local trend, a trend within a zone or an area. They work with our partners at the Tallahassee Police Department to compare information. And our intelligence analysts are going to come in and try to identify who is committing the crime.
Within the CIB, a dedicated team of analysts focus on transforming information into actionable insights, both in real time and through post-incident analysis.
The Real-Time Crime Center is the newest addition for not only the Leon County Sheriff's Office, but the Tallahassee Police Department, FSU Police Department, and College of Criminology through Florida State University. It is a center surrounded on technology, but also providing real-time officer safety information, investigative support, and intelligence information to our partners out in the field.
Within the analyst career field at LCSO, there are numerous options available to explore.
So within our agency, we have traditional criminal intelligence, which also offer investigative support for our Criminal Investigations Bureau. We have our crime analysis function, we have our fusion analysis function, and then the Real-Time Crime Center function.
LCSO analysts are all in to ensuring the safety of both deputies and the community through their dedicated efforts.
Hopefully what they see, and not just from my unit, but my unit in conjunction with patrol and criminal investigations, is a safer community, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get to a point where crime is reduced enough so that people feel safer in their areas.
21 years ago, Director Rabin was brought on as the agency's first intelligence analyst and developed the unit from its inception into what it has become today.
I started in 2018 as a senior analyst, so at the time I began, there were 4 of us and a supervisor. And since 2018, we've grown from 4 people to 11 people. And part of that is thanks to our executive director, who grew the unit from nothing to what it is now.
When asked about the most rewarding aspect of this career,
probably at this point in my career is probably training other people, because I am on the board of the Florida Crime and Intelligence Analysts Association. I know that's a mouthful, but we're the professional state association dedicated to training and furthering the field of crime and intelligence analysis. So I'm on the certification committee, and I'm the chair of that one. So I travel around and certify other analysts in how to recognize, spot, and deal with crime patterns. And so I think that's, for me, the most rewarding part, is because I've always liked teaching others and passing information on.
If you're ready to take the leap and start a career as an analyst, apply for a job today by visiting our website, leoncountyso.com. For Leon County Today, I'm Giovanni Hampton.
Another teenager, victim to fake pills. That smells like big crime that needs to be stopped. Before buying pills online, think about this. Should buying prescription pills be this easy? Did you know that fake prescription pills may contain fentanyl, and an amount small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil can be lethal? Before buying pills from social media, think again. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org and go for real.
Download the Leon County Sheriff's Office mobile app right now. Our mobile app makes it easier than ever to report a crime and get important safety alerts. And follow reported crimes in your neighborhood, all in one convenient location in the palm of your hands. Download LCSO Connect right now. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play by searching LCSO Connect. You can more details about the features of the app on our website, leoncountyso.com.
Welcome back to Leon County Today with Sheriff Walt McNeil. And Sheriff, a lot of times when people think of LCSO, they think of those deputies, those boots on the ground when it comes to working. But there are a lot of people behind the scenes, like our crime analysts, who are so important to the operation.
Yeah, we have so many support elements in our sheriff's office. The research we do is different than other places. Our real-time crime center and the staff that's there. But our crime analysts, I mean, the crime scene folks who are going to the scenes and collecting evidence, they become the key to our being successful in prosecuting cases. They are huge, and we couldn't do this job, quite honestly, without that expertise behind us. Most of our deputies are great, but we need those experts, and our crime scene unit, our crime analysis folks are tremendously apt at getting that done.
They are indeed. And the Council on the Status of Men and Boys, you know, I think for a while it takes time to lay the groundwork, but boy, are they now rocking and rolling.
Yeah, it took us a while. We've had this going for, we started 3 years ago trying to get it up and running, and with anything, it has its stops and starts, but now I think we've got some momentum. We just need our community to engage with us greater, in greater capacity. We've got some ideas about how we do that.
Yes.
We try to galvanize the evangelical community around some of the things we're doing. So we think we're in the right space and at the right time.
We do indeed. All right, well, stay tuned. We'll be talking about that in a couple of weeks, I believe, with what we're doing with the local churches. So all kinds of good stuff happening. All right, thanks everybody for joining us. We'll see you back here next week.